This is Tom with AQL, and this is Brian.
Welcome to another AQ Lighting live stream. And today, Tom, what are we doing here?
Well, how to get big performance easy. These are underwater fixtures. We're going to do a little bit of showing how to properly install a bulb in one, where a fixture this size would be used, and if you guys can all hear me, give me a thumbs up or a wow during this live broadcast, or if you're rebroadcasting this later. Also, if you have a question and you're watching now, give us a comment, something in the comments, and we'll try to answer it while this is live. So Brian, if you want to explain what this is and where we're going to put it and what we're going to do.
Okay.
Go right ahead, sir.
Well, first of all, I love this fixture.
Yeah.
This thing is, this is like old trusty. This is Mr. Reliable right here. You can do almost anything with him. This is an underwater fixture, but it could also be an in-ground well light. Just remove this.
Right.
Remove this right here, put him in the ground. This thing can light up flagpoles, light up trees, you name it. It's an uplight. Or keep it in your pond, it's an underwater light. So
after 5 years of customer service rep installing, I would take your word for it. The other great thing is it's solid brass, correct?
solid brass.
Therefore, what another good part of this is, we have some amazing LED bulbs like everybody else. Oh, notice McCall, you're on. Where are you watching us from? Give us an idea of where you're located and reaching, where we're reaching out to. McCall's one of our, seems to tune in quite often. She must be doing a remodel project.
She's got a question.
Yeah?
Looks pretty nautical. Do you have many clients that use this around the beach?
Absolutely. Why, Brian?
It's great performance. It's a great fixture. We've had a lot of different applications for this. I've seen these mounted to homes, to garages. I've seen this thing used in a lot of different ways. Basically, if your imagination can think of it, I've seen this used. So. Also,
it being solid brass, that salt water isn't going to affect it. You're not going to get your will patina, because it is raw brass. There is no finish on it at all. But that salt water, the salt air, it will keep it. You're not going to get it deteriorating or showing a bunch of well, you know what metal does down in the salt area. It corrodes and whatnot. You're not going to get that.
I can tell you why she's asking, because she's from San Clemente, beach town.
Ah, there we go. Yes, they'll love this down in San Clemente, guarantee you. The next big thing we'll talk about is the different lighting and the different bulbs that go in this, and why we're saying that this is big performance. And go right ahead, Brian.
Well, okay, so years ago, most people would probably have used this bulb right here. This is just a halogen par 36 light bulb. That's all. It's very, very basic. Reminds me of the old headlights.
Yeah.
1970, it's a little smaller. So this would have been something you'd have used 5-10 years ago. Nowadays, not so much. Now, most people are going to be using an LED bulb. It's still called a par 36 because they built it in a similar fashion, similar shape and design. So this is what we use now. We have them in 5.9, 12, and 17 watt. So when you start putting a 17 watt bulb in here, you pack a punch. You can get up in the air if you want to light up that tree. If you need to get from a little bit deeper water, get it up and out of the water, that 17 water, that'll light you up. So this is more of a thing of the past, so we'll put it that way, but we just wanted to show you where these came from.
And it absolutely, positively still being used halogens, but yes, most people are now stepping up to the LED, especially in water, where you don't want to have to take it out and replace the bulb because it's a shorter life halogen. The great thing about this fixture is if you're in a smaller water feature, or trying a smaller tree as a ground light or whatever, you can go to a 5 watt, which is resembling somewhere right around a 50 watt bulb, 550 lumens. Where if you go all the way up to the 17 watt, You're up over 100?
1400 lumens, about 100 watt equivalent. So that's actually pretty bright.
So if you guys know anybody out there that are looking to do projects around the house and looking to light water features up or anything else, share this video with them. It's a great, hopefully you'll get some knowledge out of it, and so they, I've got this set up with an LED, and I'm going to show you something while Brian gets this apart and show you how to hook the wires up. What we're going to show you is this. This LED bulb would fit in here without a problem, but it has a tendency to have a little bit of movement to it. It's not tight in there. The way they're made, they're a little bit taller, and they're not as curved as the halogen. You got that halogen so I can show them that, Brian? Where's that halogen bulb real quick? The fixture is equipped for a halogen bulb. So when a halogen moves in there, even though it moves around same size, this is a keeper ring. Now this keeper ring goes inside the fixture. Brian will show you here in a minute when he gets his apart, and it holds it in. Part 36, if you're setting this on a bottom in ground facing up, you wouldn't need to use this rubber gasket. But if you were doing, like Brian said, side of a building on an angle, someplace it gets a lot of waves, let's say, because you have a big fountain. This rubber grommet is designed so this will go in there so tight that it won't move. And you just center out that gasket, you get that gasket going there, and then I always take a small screwdriver and you just work that gasket into the center notch on it, so the gasket will go down past this lip. Key is that this rubber holder goes past this clip to ensure that the gasket Brian's about to show you to install seals properly, and you will never have any leaks. This fixture, which Brian will show you here in a minute, is potted. Therefore, through this bottom compression fitting, you're never going to get water into the fixture. And as long as you put that top on properly and you don't pitch the gasket, pretty much you're never going to end up with any water inside this one. Brian's going to go ahead and get you set up on installing a bulb on this.
So this is where the wire, this is compression fitting here. You may or may not be able to see that. This is the potting material that Tom was talking about. So you have your compression fitting, and then you just, this is just, you know, dotting the I and crossing the T, making sure there's no water going to get in here. So it's just a little bit of potting material there. You have this little rubber insulator. This is just so that the bottom of the ball doesn't ground out on the fixture and short anything out. So that just stays at the bottom. You'll notice this fixture does not have a socket. It is very, very basic. It's extremely simple, and that's really what makes it great. There's really nothing to go wrong with this thing. Keep it simple, stupid is a very good acronym. This is it right here. This is very simple. Anybody can do this. So the halogen bulb, same thing. The little, your little forks just go onto the screws on the bulb. It's that easy. So I'm gonna put this one back away. We're actually gonna fire up a different one here. So this is the ring. It comes standard with every fixture. If you're gonna use LED, just take it out, throw it away. If you have a halogen, use it. Okay, what do you have going on here, Tom?
So, like I was saying, as he gets that prepped up, I was able to very simply just push this in, this gasket, to get that down level. Now this, I don't care what you do with the bulb, it ain't ever gonna move. That was something we found that was necessary for people with, like I said, they use this fixture anywhere. So now it sits in there. This can't move, can't jiggle without a holding clip because it's in with rubber. You don't have a heat issue with the LED, so the rubber will last forever. Big part of it is, Brian's going to show you now how to wire this up.
Just that simple. I'm just putting that fork around the screw and tighten it up, nothing more. I think obviously the simplicity of it is what keeps it so durable, I think. This is what makes it old trusty right here. So that's all there is. I'm not going to put the gasket on there just for the sake of time. You'll see without it though, it's definitely going to flop around. You're not gonna,
It's
there's
not,
definitely movement, it's nothing like that right there. So that's why you will use it instead of leaving it
right,
like this.
right.
But just for the sake of the video, I'm gonna leave it.
And it,
Okay, so the next step that we just have to install the glass in the gasket. This is the huge part right here for almost any fixture. It's just making sure that the gasket is seated properly. If I was to just start installing the top right now and I pinch that gasket in any way, if it's not seated properly, you're gonna have a leak. So make sure that the glass in the gasket is seated perfectly.
best way to do that is once you get it down there, start moving it around a little bit and make sure you have no outside edges of the gasket sitting on top of the brass ledge. When you get this fixture, you'll see there's a little cutout ledge that seats the gasket. Once that's done, you're not going to have any leaking issues. Very, very simple. There's also an edge. Let me bring this up to the camera so you guys can see. See how there's an edge here? That is going to do the same thing. So you want to make sure when you put this on that you feel it seat all the way around. Line up the holes, put the screws in. Now I'm going to demonstrate something that we fall. This is a screw gun. Got a lot of power to it. A lot of guys will use this to do this to put their thing in. These are all brass, all solid brass. You take a steel tip against the brass, your brass is going to lose, and you end up stripping out the brass. We don't recommend, unless you're really good with a screw gun, that you use a screw gun. The way Brian did it there is the way to do it. Just use a screwdriver and go.
So the next thing, as Tom's tightening this down, is we'll tell anybody that we talk to over the years, you tighten these screws just like you tighten a tire on a car. So just like a tire, you wouldn't start on this screw and just work your way around. By the time you get to here, your tire wouldn't be sitting right. Same thing with this top. So what you want to do, just do a star pattern. Start on one, tighten one screw just a little, go to the next screw, a little, opposite. Just keep jumping across, opposite. Tighten it down so it's nice and level and flat. That's going to give it equal pressure on the gasket. It's going to keep you from leaking right there.
What I recommend doing is if you only use your thumb and one finger when you first get started, that'll let you know how tight to put that down. As you can tell, as I move around on this, they become loose again, right? So we're seating this evenly, and I'm not cranking. I'm using just 2 fingers to tighten this down with, but it's seating it all properly. Once I get no more movement out of it, then I just give it one more quarter tank, and now I have an unstripped, perfectly level, seated fixture. I could go drop this, I don't know. I've had people put them down as far as 2 or 3 meters. I don't know why that's like that low, don't ask me. But normal 3-4 feet is what they use this fixture. I can tell you if you're putting this in a fountain that's 18 inches deep, but in the center of your fountain you've got a beautiful sculpture. You put this about 6 inches below the water with a spotlight on it, you'll light up that fixture beautifully, right through the water, which also puts that movement, which is really great. As your water's moving and the light's falling through it, it casts a movement of light on a water fixture. It's a great little effect.
Okay, I think the next step we need to talk about is the power leads. So this fixture here is designed to come with different size power leads. These things here come in 3 foot all the way up to 30 foot. So if you only need 15 foot, just order a 15 footer. If you need a 30 footer to go from that fountain back to your transformer, grab a 30 footer. Very simple. You have a male lead here on the fixture, female here on your power lead. Just line everything up, screw it on, you're good to go. once you do that, I think we already have we have the end stripped already. We have it hooked up to the transformer. We're going to show you some of the light here.
Typical AC transformer has a common. This one happens to be a multi-tap, so there's a 12 volt, a 13 volt, 14 volt, and 15 volt. When our systems come out, you'll be able to add multiple fixtures. We're in the middle of developing that, so stay tuned for another one. If you're pulling more longer runs, you may need to up the voltage. Great thing about LED though, versus halogen, multi-taps are becoming a thing of the past, 12, 13 volts most. But if I was putting this in a fountain with four 50-watt halogen bulbs, and I have one lead coming in, odds are I'm not going to have 12 volts out there, so I'd have to go to a 15-volt tap or something. But a common and a tap, I happen to have this on common and have it wired into the 12-volt. Typical transformer, nothing special. So if I can get our sound guy to hit the lights real quick, we're going to show you a couple different things.
So this is actually extremely fun, this part. And it's getting the beam spread and the wattage correct for you. So Tom's already talked about if this is 6 inches in the water, if this is 3 feet in the water, it's going to be different. So choosing the right beam spread is huge. This right here, this is a 5.9 watt and it's a 15 degree. So I think hopefully we turn it on. Hopefully we'll look up here at the ceiling and see what kind of beam spread this makes. And then we'll compare it to what Tom has. I think Tom has a cool white 60 degree.
And
so
what would be great, guys, we want to take a little thing. If you like the warm white better than cool white, give me a wow face for cool white and give me a thumbs up for warm white.
all right.
And we'll get see which one prefers what. Anyway, we're going to throw on some light now.
Possibly.
Should.
Wires. Technical difficulties
Technical
here.
difficulties. Did yours slip off when you put it down?
It could be.
Okay. So let's show you a widespread while he's figuring that out. Yeah, you should have all
So, did you catch the ceiling for that?
Yes.
Okay. So that's 60 degrees. What are we about 6 feet?
Yeah.
Maybe. And you'll see that huge spread of cool white.
There's no real hot spot. It just seems to be a big arc of light. You got that tester, Brian? I'll just see if we got power in here. Funny thing is, we did pre-test this, everything worked, so.
Actually, I do have.
I got it, it's right
I
here.
have a voltmeter somewhere.
Yeah, that one right here. Must have slipped off or something when you put it together. This is why we do recommend, before you put it in the water, you test it and make sure it lights up. Nothing worse than have to go into the water and say, oh wow, I gotta undo everything.
Oh, here it is.
Yep, I got it.
So because this is so simple, one of the wires came off, nothing more. So first thing you do, check the bulb, make sure it was installed properly. Don't know what happened here.
You have no power hooked up, so you can do that.
So it looks like my.
So this is cool white, about 5,000 Kelvin. And as again, something else to learn, this is great if you were outdoors flooding the side of the wall. You could use this kind of flood. If you're putting this in a pond and you just want general light, you're not trying to highlight anything, you just want to light up the water, you could use a wide beam like this. Think of water as a natural filter. That, as soon as a beam of light hits water, it immediately spreads. Immediately. So you can take the sharpest 10 or 15 degree bulb, and as soon as that water gets across a 5-foot pond, it's already going to spread out more like this. So the only time you use a widespread bulb underwater is when you're not trying to highlight anything, you're just trying to get light everywhere in that pond.
fire.
If you are trying to get more of a spot, or trying to light something up from the, through the water to a fixture, or there's something underwater you're putting on in your koi pond, you got a waterfall and you want to point at the water, anything that you're pointing out, you'd use more of a spot like that. Now you can see how tight, and in the center of there's almost, you could call it a hot spot. And that is warm white.
That hot spot from here, I mean, that looks like it's about, I don't know if the cameras are picking it up, but the hot spot, it looks about 12 inches to me. Almost like a 12-inch circle up there of lighting, of hot spot, and then it's diffused around it, around that hot spot.
Yeah.
I had a customer, this is actually just last week, he was lighting up trees with par 36 bulbs, and the problem was he had 38 or maybe 40 some degree bulbs, and the customer, his customer wasn't happy with it at all. But the problem was he wasn't in a spot. He needed a 15-degree spot to do the job. So he had plenty of light. The light bulb itself was bright enough, it just didn't make it all the way up to the canopy. So keep that in mind. You may have plenty of light, you just might not have the right beam spread.
Tighter the beam spread, the further it's going to throw light. Wider the beam spread, the less distance that'll go out, but it goes out more. So again, that was warm white. Again, this is cool white. If you guys try to, whether rebroadcast or live, doesn't matter. Give us a thumbs up if it's warm white that you prefer, and give us a wow face if it's cool white. I'd like to start getting actual feedback on what people prefer. I will say one thing. People like cool white around water. So, we've got a few years of doing this under our belt, and I'd love to get some real feedback from the customers on what they prefer. Again, drop us some comments if, whether during the live or during the rebroadcast, we will be looking at all the comments that come in and answering them so you can get the answer on those comments for yourself.
If you have any questions whatsoever, we do landscaping here. If you have a landscaping question, give us a call, ask us, drop us a message or comment. We are happy to answer that. Till then,
Yeah.
I think we've wrapped up this fixture pretty good.
If you guys are getting what you want out of these, and this is helpful, again, more thumbs up, more wow faces, more hearts, any way you can communicate back to us that you're enjoying these and getting something out of them, let us know. We'll continue to do them. It's our pleasure. It's what our passion is, and everybody be safe. And
till then, be safe.